All right, cool. So I guess we can just get started so I'm not holding you for too long. Do you mind introducing yourself real quick?
I'm Garrett Sparrow. I'm an artist. I make music, try to make the best music I can.
For Rambo, you wrote, recorded, and produced all of it yourself. This is your first full album on streaming. What was the process like with putting it all together, and what was your biggest challenge with the process of like finishing it up?
Yeah. So I did it all in my bedroom of this place I used to live at in Charlotte, and yeah, everything in house. Did everything myself. Just guitar, keys, and all these synth VSTs that I had. And I would say the biggest challenge was staying out of my head because I didn't want to collaborate in any way on it. Like I wanted to just be what I could do. It was also to prove to myself and prove to others selfishly what I could do, especially after following a lot of the Biking with Francis stuff, the group that I am in. So yeah, it was a personal flex.
To me, Rambo has such a unique texture to it with like sound selection, like the synth VSTs that you were talking about, and the tones of the guitars, the structure, and just like the overall feel of the album. I know that the process of producing a song can be very tricky and troubling, especially if you're making it into a bigger project. How were you able to bring all these tracks together to create a project that has a sound so unique to you, like what you were saying before? Trying to prove to yourself and other people as a solo artist.
Yeah. I mean, I get stuck on certain soundscapes, and I unintentionally stick to similar things. And so it's honestly easy to make things fit because everything I'm doing at that time will fit because it's the only thing I want to do. I'm really obsessive and I'm 100% or 0% kind of guy. So once I got locked into Rambo, even though most of the songs were made, months apart from each other, or some were recycled, whenever I'd hear an old thing, I'd be like, that sounds like this. I could fit this in here, and I would try to repurpose it. But I'm also one not to. I make all the songs. If I ever make a song, I make it all in one sitting. I don't like to revisit and revise. It feels stale to me. It's kind of a big vomit, and I'll sit there for 8 hours and finish the whole thing, and I really won't want to touch it again unless I absolutely have to. But I treat everything very intimately. It's a really, really personal and intimate thing. So I think that's just kind of how it becomes what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense too. Like with what you were saying before, kind of getting in your own head and starting to overthink a track can kind of happen if you're revisiting it. But sitting down and doing it all at once kind of allows it to flow naturally, right?
Yeah, it's just all feel, and the chords don't have to be crazy. It's just got to feel right. It's like it sounds funny, but it's like got to hit my
Yeah,
soul,
yeah.
like.
On Softy, which is track 4, I believe, you work with Detage, who is also an amazing artist himself. How was it like putting that song together and working with him?
Yeah, so I mean, we had connected like 6 months before that song was released, and I thought he was really cool, and I felt like we see things similarly, like we go about things similarly, and I had made this song. I had this little voice memo on the way to like get food or something, and it was like the lead line, and so I made the song, and I was like, I'm gonna just send it to him. I got his number, see if he wants to do it. And he was down, and then eventually sent me over his vocal stems, and I mixed it, and he was cool with it. And then I tried to take it a step further, and I was like, yo, let's go to LA and like make a video for it. I got this idea, and it's pretty a loose idea, but it was all done online. We hadn't even met in person yet until he met me in LA, and it really worked out. Like it just kind of happened, but I didn't make it specifically for him. It just worked out.
And that video is crazy cool too, which we'll get to that later though. Another artist featured is Joshua Raw, who also dropped a project in September, and it was very good. You two also worked together with Max, who also dropped a project in August. I didn't really put together that you guys all dropped an album in the summer until I was writing these questions. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys all work together to create the trio, which is Biking with Francis. How does your process change when working solo rather than working with the other two?
Yeah, I mean, those two, they're my best friends, and I produced all of Josh's project, Sasquatch, and produced a little bit of stuff on Max's album. So I had my hands good bit in their stuff. But selfishly, I was like, Rambo's mine. I like to. That's just how I go about it. But we all initially made music solo first. So like honestly, it's easier to make solo music because that's what we're used to. And I've been making music since I was like 8 on my own, and nobody wanted to be in a band with me growing up. So that's how I got into producing because I had to play every instrument. So that's why Tyler was so cool to me when I was little because he was always so vocal about doing everything himself. And I was like, it was almost out of necessity, but I kind of got obsessed with the idea of being able to make, call all the shots. So it is kind of nice. Again, I like to selfishly make all the choices because I have this urge to be like, no, it has to be this way. So I think it differs. We're very democratic with biking, and I treat it very personally and intimately.
On top of dropping the project, you also released 3 music videos for Ego, Softy, which we hit a little bit on, and then Boyfriend. Those 3 videos are full of colorful, textured shots. Where does the inspiration come for those videos, and what does your process look like when you're shooting for music videos? Whether we're talking about Rambo or other stuff that you've done, or stuff with your group Biking with Francis.
Yeah, so we always work with we call them the Chris's. It's two Chris's. Mainly Chris filmed that, which is this guy named Stubbs. He's like the videographer, and he's done all of our stuff. And anything you've seen from the three of us biking or solo, it's him. He's the best. We're all boys. We're all planning to live together soon, and that'll make it that much easier. But yeah, I mean, especially with the even the biking stuff, I think I contribute a lot of the directing, and it's a second passion of mine. I used to want to be an actor, and so I love that kind of stuff. And so just working with him, and I would say I wanted everything to be identifiable as Rambo, not even like, oh, this is how Garrett Sparrow like makes videos. I wanted it to just be like, that's what this album looks like, and I assume it's gonna look completely different for everything else to come. And it's pretty much it's secondary to me though. I wish I didn't have to do videos. I just wish I'm just music priority kind of guy, and I wish I could just make an album and you just listen to it. But in this day and age, you gotta have the visuals, and luckily Chris is so cool, and we edited and directed all the videos together, sat there for hours, and he was so patient with me because I'm so specific with how I want things to be done, and he's just a great teammate.
I do get what you're saying with like the music video stuff. That does make a lot of sense. I really enjoy them though. I mean, Softy. I really love the shot of. I think it's you like you guys are training for looks like boxing, and the person on the other side of you in Detage is like glowing, and that's I always think back to that shot every time I'm thinking of music videos in general. I love that shot.
Yeah, he was actually supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be like just shorts
Mm.
because Rambo and like the boyfriend video, he like doesn't have a head. Like he's like nothing under the suit. He's not there. And we couldn't figure it out. So we ended up going with him being just a glowing being, which it turned out cool. I'm not upset.
So you open the project with Do, which feels like a more intimate track than the rest of the songs on the album, even though it may be shorter than the other songs. How did you decide on the order of tracks for the album? Was there intention behind putting Do first in terms of setting the tone, or did it come more naturally?
Definitely wanted to put it first. It definitely set the tone. That's a good way to put it. And that is how I felt about it. I mean, every single song I placed it there in front or behind the other, definitely on purpose. I wanted it to have, a similar flow to the albums that I love, and how, big outro, big intro. Even if it's not a big intro, it like feels like a big intro. And Do is stupid personal to me. And it's connected to a really personal experience that I had, and I just wanted it to be like I don't know, it felt cool to like be really, really vulnerable right in the beginning. Like first track of my first album, like here it is. Like this is the point of me making music is to be, open and vulnerable about this stuff so other people can connect to it. Because I'm pretty introverted, so it felt ballsy and I love doing that kind of stuff.
You said it's not long, but it's big, and I totally get that. It feels like it's swelling, especially with the vocal layering and the harmonies and the strings in the background. It's awesome. On track three, Pony Boy, you use some audio clips from the movie Outsiders. Was Outsiders an inspiration for that song, or was it more of a later addition? I guess maybe after the line of Pony Boy, or
It was definitely inspiration from the beginning. I had actually just read the book. I guess I had read it when I was like a kid or in school or something, but I read it just recreationally and hadn't seen the movie also since I was a kid. And I was like, I'm gonna read the book first. And I just absolutely love the book. And I'm not even a big reader as much as I'd want to be. And so that was like a big deal to like read a book, enjoy it, and finish it as an adult. And I just felt so strongly about it, and I ended up just padding the the story and made Pony Boy and Johnny lovers in that church that they hide out in, and I just thought not that it was funny, I just like wanted to spin it up in an artistic way, and yeah, so it was there from the start. I just wanted to fully. I like telling stories in other people's perspective.
my favorite part of this whole project is the opening parts of Ask. Actually, Ask is probably my favorite song in general, but specifically like the synths in the beginning, followed by like the tone of the guitar, which is beautiful by the way, and the strings behind it, which is another thing that I just love in music in general, like the strings in general. What was your process of sound selection and tone behind that track specifically?
Yeah, I mean that's my favorite song on the album as well. I think it's my best song, one of my best songs now that I've ever written. It just is it's just the songiest song I feel like I've ever done. But I was listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder and for the most part Todd Rundgren. Just the way
Ooh,
his stuff sounds,
yeah,
it's like it, and it's something I can't achieve because I know he is playing live in a studio, and, that gets recorded, a performance. So it was kind of my way of trying to replicate that while being really concise. Like you can tell it's live, so there's a humanness to it, but also it's stupid tight, and I wanted the chords to really sting. And I'm also I'm just a string whore. Like I just love
yeah,
strings, and the way I had to do the strings on the whole album was, I didn't have access to string players, but plug-in strings, fake ones don't sound like strings to me. So I would take samples of people playing strings, and I would chop them and stretch them and pitch them to make it work to the song that I had written. Yeah, yeah, it was just really trying to get a 70s kind of vibe
yeah.
to it.
That's crazy too, because I was just about to ask you, like, since you can't play them live, like, how are you making those VSTs sound so real? But that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, they're not.
That's
Yeah.
like that's very smart. That's so cool. This whole project has a very colorful, saturated aesthetic throughout, whether it be through the music or the music videos, even the merch that you have on your website and your website in general. What were your inspirations for creating? I guess this world, for lack of better terms, the world of Rambo. Like, were there any artists, movies, artwork? I guess you also mentioned books and stuff like that that comes to mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Stevie Wonder and Todd Rundgren, for artists, and I can't not say Tyler. Like, I mean, the way he just kind of his strategy and like the way he constructs and builds worlds. I think there's a lot of us out there that, want to do what he did because I just think it makes such a bigger impact. And I wanted it to, it's also my childhood, and it feels like a very nostalgic album, and I wanted to be colorful, and that was how I was. Like I just loved the color and really going to the max with stuff and being stylistically maximalistic. And those are and Tarantino. He's my favorite director. I know he likes feet, but whatever, dude. Like I love his movies. I love his writing. and I actually have a Pulp Fiction script just because I loved it so much. So that's really the biggest things. And this next project that I'm working on is totally different, and I'm hoping I can hit the same notes that I did with this one.
I know that you play guitar and the piano on this album a lot, or keys in general. Do you have like a favorite instrument that you go for when, I guess, creating Rambo? Like, do you prefer playing the guitar more? Do you prefer playing the keys more? Or is it kind of just like a all around thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and I know a lot of people who know me would say like keys is what I'm best at. Like I'm best at piano. I've played keys since I was like 3 years old. So like it's my bread and butter. And my older brother is like a guitar demon, and he always has been a guitar guy. And so I never really was good at guitar until, like college. I actually started feeling like I could. So like I think I have more fun playing guitar, but I'm way better at keys. And for Rambo, during making that, I think my favorite was like just the acoustic piano. And I ended up buying Keyscape because I don't have any, real acoustic pianos as much as I'd want to. And they just sound so good. They sound so real. And it really just made me want to play just good old upright piano, and it just sounds so good. That's like, what Todd Rundgren would do, and you could just tell it's not a perfect sound, it's a little out of tune, and I think that was definitely my favorite. A lot of the songs like are just, some of them just start out with just piano, and
Right.
before that it definitely felt like kind of like how the acoustic guitar feels to most people. It feels kind of campy,
Mhm.
and like, but I think I found a way to, when you put synths over regular piano, like that's a really cool combination, that made it work for me. Yeah.
Speaking of, I guess, favorite things on the album, do you have any specific favorite moments throughout the project that you can? I know this is on the spot, so you don't have to give me anything crazy, but do you have any specific favorite moments on the album that you look back to a lot, or?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I would say the bridge, the like, or the, I guess it's the chorus. The chorus is an ask when, the strings come in, and it's like, you save me from myself. Like that chord change just really worked out. And then also the outro of Take Pictures, which was the last thing I did on the project. That was the very last thing I did. And I kind of did it quick with Josh, and was just moving, and I don't know, it hits. And then I would say just, dude, Ego, like the Ego outro, actually the outro of Ego is my favorite part of the whole album. It's ridiculous. It sounds like High School Musical, and I love it.
Yeah, I do love the outro of Ego. Take the outro of Take Pictures, like the drums on that outro is just awesome. I go back to that a lot. Yeah, that's really all I have for questions.